Well, welcome to a new Harry's Farm video. Loads going on the farm, as I sort of hinted in the last video. We're actually standing where I seeded all that bird seed. I'm going to quickly update you on that. More wall has appeared from the ground. Mark's just working over there. I'll just give you a sort of update on that one. Combine's been serviced for harvest up in the yard, and there's TB testing going on with the cattle as well, and there's a few other things happening with the crop as well. First off, look at this is where I seeded it, and this is always fun doing. If you get right down here, you can now see it. It's a really good take, I have to say. You can see all the new seeds coming. This is the bird mix I put in. This is winter feed for the birds. That's what all this is. And you can see, as ever, yes, thanks very much, Stanley, that one's all been nibbled away. We've got a little bit of slug damage, which is just typical farm grumblings, that it was perfectly timed. I finished off that evening, and then we had about 12 mil of rain, and then we had another 5 mil of rain. So I've never had such a good germination of all the different seeds you put down. I can see them everywhere, but I'm also seeing the trails of slugs here and there. You see that one's been nibbled as well. And now we've got a week of really warm weather. They're saying by Friday it's 30 degrees, but there's rain happening on the weekend typically. So pleased at the moment. Fingers slightly crossed that we have some rain, but it's got away very well. And look at the wall. No end of work's been going on. I'm so chuffed the way this wall has appeared from the ground. Let's go and have a closer look. Oh, my goodness, I can't get over. Last week was exceptional, wasn't it? Wall seemed to appear from nowhere. Look at this. I know we had, it's actually a really good cross section. I don't know if you can see that. But there is a perfect cross section of a wall, isn't it?
Yes, that's it. Here you can see all the inside and how it actually fits together. Pillars, why they're so important.
How does it stand up looking at that?
Pure skill.
Is that what it is? That's why I can't do it.
If you can see all these middle pillars there, they're not just plonked in there, actually wedged into each other.
Everyone is placed.
Everyone is placed. That's separate, sort of holding each other.
What do you call the outside ones again?
Builders.
Builders. So they're the builders on the outside, and that's the face that you then see.
The face that you actually see.
So you are looking out for ones with a nice smooth edge there.
Nice smooth face. When I sort the stone out.
Yeah. Oh, look at that one. Right. That's on the outside.
On the inside, ready to.
Oh, okay.
The fillers are just on the outside, which I just put in a bucket and use as I go along.
Oh, I see. And then you sort of construct the wall and then plonk your radio on top, and that just holds it. That weighs about 30 kilos or something, just there, and it's safe. And this is your crib. This is your cheat, isn't it? This is the angles you go for.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. I mean, the reason I've done it here is because I've got a tree to be able to.
I know. Yeah, which is really handy.
So I'm just sorting out the one side. I mean, it's a bit wonky
here. This is as bad as it gets, isn't it? You've had to take the whole thing down here, haven't you? So there's still stone underneath here, is there?
Yes, there's still stone. I mean, so I've still got to go and sort some of these out, like this one. A lot of the reason why this wall especially, there was a lot of these stones that were angled going down that way.
Okay.
So once the bottom starts going that way, the whole lot goes that way, and
that's why it all fell over.
Yeah, and you can see as you go along how wide the wall gets. I mean, we won't be rebuilding it the same width as that. That's the idea of the two.
Oh, I see. Because this was like collapse, wasn't it? It was a huge sort of pile of stone, made no sense. It's slightly soul-destroying going there.
But the good thing is, in sight.
The end is in sight, yeah. We're trying to get to that scrub of trees there, just where the elder flowers. You can just see, though, that is basically the end of the wall. But look how much has Mark's done. Look at it. I'm so chuffed the way this has turned out. Really makes a difference. And then, with a bit of luck, we'll be able to take that sort of rickety old post and rail out, and then the cattle come right up to here. That's the plan. Yeah. But we're going to put a bit of wire to protect the wall, so the cows will rub against the wall and knock it down, which is not good. About 3 weeks, 4 weeks, isn't it? We've got a time on it, haven't we?
Yeah.
We have to finish this by certainly by the end of July, but that's the wire fence as well. But going extremely well. You might not have some gloves in a minute, but yeah, good, excellent. Right, I'll leave you to crack on and go and have a look at the combine. Right, well, combine service happening here. It's quite a big thing, combine service. Plenty of oil to be used. Huge, great air cleaner on these things. Actually, 2-part air cleaner. Trouble is, the engine's up in the air there. Sam, you're in the process of doing something, I don't know. Oh, filter, a new filter going on. Yeah, oh, fuel filter. I didn't realise you're doing fuels as well.
Yeah.
Might as well, I suppose, because the trouble with this is they're always filled up from a Bowser, aren't they?
That's
so,
right.
yeah, there's a high chance of muck getting in.
Yeah.
That's fairly friendly. And how much engine oil have we got here? It's gallons of it.
30 litres.
30 litres.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah, 30 litres.
That is a lot. And a hoover. I'm surprised you've got a hoover out. So it must be a...
Yeah, just to suck up any of the residual dust in the air filter housing.
Right, when you do the change that up there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's all right. And yeah, it is a myriad of pipes in here, isn't it? But,
yes.
Makes various sense.
Yes.
I quite like that you don't have to, the drain for the waste oil is here, right down here. So there's a tap, isn't there,
yes,
somehow?
That's it. The tap on the bottom of the sump there.
Yeah, that's very helpful.
There's taps all over the machine, so if we were doing the transmission oil, there's a tap here.
Oh, the clear ones. And then,
tap there for the hydraulics. Yeah.
Right.
So,
and that's the monster drive, and that's the hydraulic, that drives everything, doesn't it? The drive, when you're, it's not a gearbox, the wheels, it's hydrostatic drive, whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. And then you're just going to run through and say, well, I think you need to change this. Joe's up there, is he? He's hiding up there.
In there, just replacing the other engine oil filter.
Right, I might actually just pop up there and have a quick look. So I just grab the camera. Actually, while I've just got the camera, just so you can see how workings of a combine. That's the big rotor in there, so that's where the straw comes up into the combine. Those augers down there take the grain up and put it over some sieves, which I've explained before, all down there. And that's a sensor there that tells me how much grain is coming through or being lost. But this is the first time with the combine we haven't actually washed it off. We actually just blew it off this time. Yeah, you know you're on a proper bit of kit when you've got a ladder to go and have a look at the engine. That's the filter in there, air cleaner there, in here. Joe's got the tough job. You have to be a certain size to service this engine, don't you, really? Yeah. God, what are you doing there?
I've just pulled the engine oil filter out.
Oh, God. Oh, right.
Engine fuel filter. So.
Oh, right. Doing all the way. Is there one there as well? So there's several then. There's some. I suppose there is, because there's the pressure one, isn't it, on the pump?
Yeah.
God. And that's an engine filter just about to go in. Good.
And then your tap's just below the filter down.
Yeah. That's why we get you to do it, and I can't get down there anymore. Wouldn't know what I was doing, but I'll quickly have a look in here. There's the tank. So, yeah, we'll be filling that up. Not many weeks to go now. That's why we're getting all this work done. Good. Right. Let's go and have a look what the cattle are doing. I was going to show you TB testing. There's the vet and David New just departing. So I'm afraid the cows were in here and there was TB testing going on, but they've finished. So apologies for that. They're actually, this is when he put the reactor in. So today is Tuesday. They're actually coming back on Friday and then see if any have reacted. So we might get a chance to do TB testing then. So yeah, TB testing delayed, but let's go and just have a look what's been happening on the farm, the actual arrow. We've been busy with the crops, and I just want to explain some of the bureaucracy. I want to do something on the farm, and the bureaucracy is getting in the way. Right, this is the wheat I showed you on the last video, that I was concerned that the grass was sort of coming back. That's what we were worried about. All this seemed to get a second life, and it's actually got bad enough that we sprayed it. So we just put the last fungicide on it. We actually did it last night because you're trying to protect the very top. This is the ears showing the horns. Quite a lot of yield actually comes from the head itself. That actually photosynthesizes and fills the grain. The grain is, I'm sure you know, this is probably won't have a pollen in there, but it's just flour. That's what all the pollen's why everybody's getting hay fever at the moment. And the grain is just starting to develop there. There it is. There's the grain. That can be focused on there. Hardly anything at all at the moment. Yeah, nothing in it. But that's what we want to do. We want to fill up that grain, and the power to fill that grain all comes from sunlight and keeping this all green, and quite a lot of photosynthesis goes on in the head. So you want to protect that. And it's the final fungicide we've just put on. And we also put a grass weed killer to kill off this last little second, I think it's the third flush we've had of weeds coming up, and that's all down to that sort of rain coming up. That's really bad yellow rust. You can see there, that's what we're trying to fight. For whatever reason, that leaf did not hit the spray, but you're trying to protect it further up the plant. This is absolutely clean. You can see there's no spores on that, and that's what it should look like. But that's a nightmare when you see that. But I wanted to bring you down here because we've got this lovely sort of more established trees here, but I'd like it to be a bit thicker, and I've been looking at things to do. It's, you know, we want to plant trees, etc., and I'd like to beef this up. So I want to just show you some detail here, but bureaucracy is getting in the way, and my fellow farmer Mr. Clarkson has been banging on about this, how bureaucracy is seriously annoying, some things you have to do on the farm. Well, this is my little annoyance down here. Now this is the area of wood I'm talking about. So we've got quite a thick wood there, relatively, and then suddenly it thins out. It's a bit of a bend here, and if you just swing round and come down here, suddenly it's not nearly as deep, the trees here, and there's a little strip there as well. So I've been looking at how could I plant this out, actually, because these trees are sort of getting near the end of their life. They're not really doing particularly well, and there's only about 4 trees depth here, and there is no problem at all for me post 2024 taking this arable land out here and growing the trees in this direction. But actually I'd quite like to grow the plant trees in this direction, and that's where bureaucracy comes alive and there's a problem. So yeah, these are probably some of the biggest trees we've got on the farm. That's an old oak there that's doing pretty well, but you can see these pines and that larch, I think it is, they all need replacing, but it'd be good to plant them out while there's still a bit of protection from here. But what I'd really like to do is to stretch it into this grass field here, and we've got a brook down the bottom here. This is absolutely in the middle of nowhere. Look that way, this slopes down and goes down to the brook. So I thought, well, I'll take quite a lot of this field out and plant this out in trees as well. That's where they all get a bit upset. Oh no, mate, we can't take this permanent pasture out. This has been in stewardship now for 20 years. There has to be an environmental impact investigation on this, and I don't think they're going to allow it. What? So I can plant trees on the arable, I can take land out of production, no problem at all, but take a bit of permanent pasture out to plant trees on, no, you can't do that. And it is so infuriating when someone faceless within DEFRA and Nature England is saying, I can't plant trees on my own farm in a hidden corner like this. Isn't that what we're meant to be doing? And I can't help but just have a little look. The recent days, well, yesterday announced the food strategy. There was big announcements, and I thought, well, that might be quite interesting. What they've done is reduce the sort of drive to rewilding vast areas of the UK, which is good. The amount that was going towards that was £500 million. It's down to 50 million now, so completely different sort of number. And I wanted to just see if they've actually rethought, food security is what all farmers have been banging on about. I've been banging on about it as well most of this year, saying surely we're down to 60%, we should try and get it further up, 75-80% as we were in the 70s and 80s. Well, they've come out and say we can grow more tomatoes and cucumbers because we're importing those from Spain, etc. No real mention of any other food security. And I read that the one thing they do say on it is, we will publish a land use framework in 2023 to ensure we meet our net zero and biodiversity targets and help our farmers adapt to the changing climate whilst continuing to produce high quality, affordable produce that supports a healthier diet. Just sounds like they're kicking the can down the road again on that one, as ever. And then I just don't know how seriously to take this white paper, because there's also point 1.1.3, following Russia's invasion of Ukraine, the government has set out measures to help farmers and food producers manage increased input costs, including a package on fertilisers. Going forward, I haven't seen any package on fertiliser whatsoever. Prices of fertiliser have gone up. In EU, there's a considerable amount of support to their farmers for doing that. They've taken all the environmental schemes have been put on hold, and they're actually asking for more crops to go in the ground. But on fertiliser, no. UK government, I'm sorry, that is complete balderdash. There is no truth in that statement. So we will continue. Farmers are fairly resilient and they're adaptive, and I'm now planning what I'm going to plant here. That seems to pass the government by, that you actually need 2 or 3 years to plan these sort of things, but we're still waiting on food strategy and the rest of it. So yeah, happy cows. They've moved into here, enormous amount of grass in here. They've all done their TB testing this morning, gone into new pasture. They're hiding in the shade because it's quite warm today. But yeah, they're certainly not going to run out of grass in here. It's got a little bit ahead of itself, but actually this is a particularly lush bit of the field. It's not quite as lush as you go down towards the brook, and that's where I'd like to put some trees in. So there you go, bit of an update on what's happening on Harry's farm. Varied as ever. I'm sure you'll be back very soon, and I'll be closer to the combine being ready and looking at harvest and those sort of things. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you have, keep watching, keep subscribing, more videos coming along very soon.